This is for a Misty Redcherry. So the initial issues that you have in your what do you want to call this? Just facial portrait here. Um, the first thing that I would tell you to do is um, get off of the smooth round brush. It tends to kind of look like this fake airbrush look, and it tends to make things look very um, I don't want to say amateur, but it's exactly what it is. The problem with the airbrush look is you're filling in your general shapes, but you're not really defining your shapes at all. So in this case, I'm just using a simple chalk brush from Photoshop. I know you're using so it's a little bit different, but you can use block brushes, something with a little bit of edge. And what you want to do when you're doing this is, so if my light source is coming from here, alright, so we're just going to paint the light source here. The first thing I would do is I would just select this, and then we're just going to grab and minus this area here. We're going to get rid of this area here, and we're going to just add some of these things here. So the first thing I would do is actually cut this out and then drop it here. So actually I would probably just most likely go here and fill the empty space here and here. Oops, I think I have it at a multiply. So alright, so that's the first and foremost thing that I'm going to do. And that's going to keep my clean edges, especially when I lock the transparency, which I believe you can do inside. Alright, so the second thing you want to pay attention to is you want to get hard edges in there. You know, the face isn't all about the smooth form. You know, you've almost got a formless face. And without the reference, I can't exactly look, but I'm going to show you. So you want to block in the ideas that there is depth to her face. So just by simply doing stuff like this, and I know this isn't the all-encompassing way to do it, but that's the, you know, block in the solids first. You know, you got your shadows, you're going to have some shadow under here, you're going to have some definition in here where the light is going to hit on her eye makeup. It's still going to be darker, but that eye makeup is going to kind of give you that transition of, you know, where things go. And then the next step is, you know, start getting your highlights in there. So it would be on the tip of the nose. It would be on the forehead. You know, those are going to be the highlights. It's probably going to be here on the cheeks, or the underside of the nose. You're going to probably have some on the chin, and then you're probably going to get a little bit on the cheek itself. And I just have this brush set to my pen pressure opacity, so as I'm painting here, it's creating, you know, just transparencies on it. So then what you want to do is you want to block in, you know, the secondaries. So if you've got kind of the darks here, you know, this is just that subtle dark is going to bring out the shape of the nose. You can, you know, then kind of pop in a little bit more of the nose on there, and that's how you want to build up your form on your particular character or your painting or whatever you're doing. You know, look at the subtle value changes. Now, a lot of times with photographs, people either use what's basically a flash photography type of thing. The problem with that is the flash photography generally blots out a lot of the shapes and stuff like that. So, you know, just start building up You kind of have to look at some of the forms and stuff like that. So, you know, just get more subtle variations in there. Like this one here is, you know, definitely a top-down layer. So you want to add in more, you know, more of the shadow under the chin here. You know, start if the ears are popping out, you want a little bit more of highlights in the ears, and especially in areas that the ear sticks out. Um, and also remember that the hair has form too. So you've put the highlight in the hair right here, when in all reality the highlight should be here, somewhat here, and then we're just gonna block in some of this. So then under here, this hair is going to be a lot darker, and you're going to see more of the form value start popping out. Um, and then realize too that hair has definition, so this would be a little bit more like that. So you kind of want to, you know, pay attention to that aspect of things. Get your forms in there, and don't leave these little line works like this here. They should have disappeared a long time ago. Um, and so you can see just by simply painting in there a little bit, painting over some of these lines, the lines are starting to disappear. You should also have highlights on the lips because they're gloss and they're shiny. Even though they're black, the lips are, even though they're black, they're still popping out. They still have form to them. So those are things that you really want to pay attention to. Don't stick with that airbrush, because the airbrush, it's great for, you know, clouds and fog and doing quick passes, you know, quick color passes and things like that. But when you're starting to refine your objective here, you're going to get more definition, more interest um, in your particular works. And so just painting things like that, it's okay to have a little, you know, paintbrush strokes and stuff like that. That's texture. If you want that blend together, what I recommend is do like, I think you can control the hardness in a SI. So do like a 75 to like a 64, and what that'll do is that'll give you just enough of an edge to kind of give you the life of the brush stroke, but yet enough round that it'll kind of blend in a little bit better. So, and then you know, just pay attention to, you know, your darks and things like that. So you can get some darks going on in there, um, and so on. So I mean, by doing this, you're getting a lot more interesting, um, you know, brush strokes, and things are starting to tighten up and look a little bit more interesting. Whereas before, you know, you've got the definition of things are starting to disappear and fade away, and this is where you want to add the definition, and add that information in there. All right, I hope that helps.